What's up guys, Arla Spoilers came out a while ago and I wasn't able to put it out till today, and I think it's actually really good. Ignoring all of the other cards other than Guardian Angel Raphael, I actually think Guardian Angel Raphael is really good. Most of the other cards seem really situational. I'll have the article below if you guys want to check them out, but I want to focus on what I think is actually going to be in the meta. Arla himself wasn't bad either. It was something along the lines like if he controls Memoria and he enters the field, you get a stone and then you recover all your stones. So essentially, if you deactivate on turn 5, you're going to get a 10/10 on the field. He doesn't have flying, which is really weird. And then you get 5 stones. So the best play I guess I could think of is like you would get the 5th stone, recover, and then summon Celestial and summon maybe Lucifer or something. And because Arla's green now, you can argue that you can run Foment of the World Tree to like put the Lucifers into your deck, even if you don't have the Darkness. Plus, the Memoria for Arla says that you can pay like green and tap it to produce any color. So even though it's kind of costly and it costs 2, like it is color fixing to some extent. The only problem is I've been testing Alice Cluster quite a lot actually already, and I've been working on like a bunch of different decks, and one of the decks that's like really good I think right now is the like Blazer with blue, and I splashed in some dark, and it uses like Flame King Shout of course, and I think Space Time Anomaly now is the greatest card just in the entire game pretty much. Like I run 4 of it and I only have 4 black. It doesn't even matter to me. I think that card is completely insane. And let's say if your opponent was to do something like deactivate Arla, recover all 5 stones that you now have, summon Celestial, summon Lucifer, and they pass. If you have Space Time Anomaly on your draw, like open, 2 mana open, you can Space Time Anomaly the Lucifer, recover Flame King Shout, Lucifer dies, you put Earther into the field, destroying Celestial Wing Seraph with Earther's effect, and then deactivate Blazer and kill Arla, which I think is completely insane. So although a lot of these rulers do seem really good, it seems like Blazer is still going to be really relevant next format. I guess it's a little dangerous to deactivate him because you're going to be kind of greedy with the stone base and not actually have any red. So if he does die, you lose out on all of your red. But I think if you play it accordingly, that's like a desperate measure. There's already so many other ways like you can get over that field, but the fact that he can get over it so easily just is kind of surprising to me. I think Arla is going to be good anyway because you also get to draw a card, and if you control 4, you draw 3 cards instead, which is like even that's really good. But I'm not sure. I'll have to see. We have to see how the rest of the spoilers, like to see how Arla is going to go. But definitely compared to like Melgus and Faria and Machina wasn't bad either, but I just think he's pretty good. It's just I have to see what everything else looks like before I really have a feel for him. But as of right now, I think the color fixing rulers are still really strong, and Reflect is really strong. But that's exactly where Guardian Angel Raphael comes. So Guardian Angel, like I said, it's a 1-drop. I mean, it's a 3-drop, 1 white, 2 colorless. It has flying, which is pretty good because its stats are really low for attack anyway, and so it's nice to still be able to push for some damage. It's a 4/8, which I think is really fair because since she stopped standby cards, Unseen Pressure is going to be played in dark, and they kind of have a counter to this card so that it's not like completely shutting them down. So it's flying in Angel. It's your opponent cannot play cards from their chant standby area during your turn, and your opponent cannot play activate abilities of J/rulers or Regalia during your turn. So what I think is really interesting on this card is it says abilities of J/rulers, not resonators. So we don't really have much ruler sense that can do stuff on your turn. It might be possible that this card was, of course, like Forcible designs cards in advance, so I think they make cards kind of like by block. So it's like when Reflect was announced, they might have already had this card ready, and that's why it didn't seem so strong in their minds. And Reflect before Errata was able to use the effects on your turns, so it's possible that the reason why this is J/Ruler is because they wanted to have a way to stop the activates of Reflect on your turn. So even though that's not really like an issue anymore because it's been errated and you can't do it on your turn, I guess that's kind of what the design for this card was going for. But yeah, your opponent can now play activate abilities of J/Resonators or Regalia during your turn. The Regalia is also really important because they can't like pump their ruler if it's on the field on your turn or give it imperishable, which is kind of insane. So this card's almost like a built-in Death Scythe while stopping like Reflect from being able to search or bounce or like negate any of your cards, which is also really huge. And it even stops chance standbys like on the side. So I think this card is going to be really, really played. I think the fact that it's 4/8 and dies to Unseen Pressure makes it really fair against black. I think like any chance standby player doesn't really have to worry. And yesterday the chance standbys were revealed, and I'm gonna have a whole different video on that. But I think they're actually gonna be really good too. A lot of people don't like a lot of the cards, but as someone who played Kaguya, like the Stealth Kaguya, for so long, I think people really don't understand how well certain stealth cards could work, and they're just looking at it from a very like undertoned kind of viewpoint, and they don't understand how powerful some of those cards can be. So I'm happy to know that, excuse me, I'm happy to know that there's so many like prepared counters for all these things already. So it's not going to be like, oh, stealth is really good, let's all play stealth, and stealth's going to be dominant. Oh, Tsukiyomi and Guardian Angel is really good, like let's all play like, like you can't use activates on rulers or resonators or control your board in that sense kind of decks. Like, no, it's like, oh, well, this is an answer to this, but this also has an answer to this, which has an answer to this, which is how I think the game should be. I think it's totally fine to build your deck to be able to have a good matchup against everything, which is, of course, like what I try to do and what I think everyone should try to do. But especially because you could side, it just helps. But I really like this card's design. But I think the most important thing is to note the cost. I mean, like I said, I think it's really important that they're starting to have more colorless, because I think that that puts them in a better place to seal. I've been playing a lot of like random Magic sealed lately, like just at work, and I've noticed that on their cards, like everything seemed insane to me because everything was like 6 cost, and then it's like 1 red, 5 colorless, and I'm like, what the hell? Like this card should definitely have more red. And they like everyone that actually plays Magic would explain to me that, oh, like if that was the case, you wouldn't be able to do seal. Pre-release events would suffer because the mana base would be off. Not to mention that with such a heavy card pool, like those cards would be really hard to splash in certain decks. And that actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, in Force the Will, even if most of my cards were like 1 light and 2 colorless, or 1 red and 2 colorless, it's not like I'm going to be playing like 4 colors anyway. I'm still probably going to keep it to like 2, maybe 3, if you have like color fixing, maybe 3. But it just seems like it's really cool that you don't have to worry about getting color screwed even when you only have limited color. Because as of right now, Vingolf 2 got announced. It's Valkyria Chronicles, which, by the way, everyone that's hating, like, please, like, and nobody understands how great that game is. If you haven't played it, please don't hate on it, because that game was incredible. Like, as a Fire Emblem player, a lot of people have played Fire Emblem. I know it's kind of a more popular franchise, but that game was the closest thing that the PlayStation has ever had to Fire Emblem, and I will bow down to any game that attempts to be that good. I mean, for anyone that likes like turn-based, I mean, we're card players, so you have to like turn-based stuff. It's kind of the same concept of responding to what's put in front of you, and that game is just incredible. I know a lot of people are like, it's a game, it's not an anime. Like, well, yeah, but you have to understand that Force Will originates in Japan, and it is an anime in Japan, and the anime wasn't as good as the game, but it's still really, really good. So please don't hate on the new Vingolf. It's going to be really cool. The art in that game is really nice too. So if it corresponds on the cards, worst case scenario, if you have no idea what Valkyria Chronicles is, it's like you still get pretty cards. So that's all that matters. But generally, like, Vingolf 2 says it has 15 stones, and I can't tell if it's going to be 10 stones of dual stone reprints and 5 plain stones, or if it's going to be like 5 plain stones and 10 memorias, because like maybe they'll reprint the memorias from the first 2 sets or something, because it's like not recent enough to have reprints from the third one already too. Or maybe it won't have any plain stones and it'll just have 15 memorias, and it'll be from the first 3 sets of Alice Cluster. Like, I don't know what it's gonna have, so I want to say that they're not reprinting dual stones because of the cost on these cards, but I know it would be a really, really easy seller, especially to get new players into the game. If they put dual stones in there, plus like just reprints of important cards, and the creatures were actually like decent this time, instead of like being off one where the cards were very introductory and weren't really made for like professional play, outside of like Mozart and Rasputin and the other couple good cards in there. But yeah, like if they make Vingolf 2 into like an actual set, and it has either like all the dual stones, or even though if it has all the memorias, because Ruler's Memoria is really expensive right now, it's just going to be really, really good, and I'm excited. And I'm excited to see that the cost on these cards might mean that we're not going to be seeing dual stones coming back, which is fine by me too. At first I was super against it, and people might quote, I said that like oh, it's gonna make deck building really streamlined. Everyone's gonna have to play like, you know, like Arla Angels and like Rezzard Stealth or whatever. I don't know if anyone heard that, by the way. Like my heater does this thing where it explodes randomly. Like I know some people quote me saying this from one of my other videos. I've had people quote it before, but like there's literally a demon in my like heater and I'm freaking out. Like this happens only when I make videos. There's been an incident where like I've been filming and I like plug out my telephone jack because I don't want to get any like calls to my house phone while I'm filming because that would kind of like add background noise. And then like I'll literally take out the plug for the phone and then it'll still get a ring. And I'm sitting there freaking out, telling myself like it's literally plugged out, like it has no power, it's off, and it's making like ringing sounds. And now my heater does this thing where it explodes, and it just makes these crazy noises. And I don't even turn it on. I live in Los Angeles where it's like 85 degrees like in May, so I'm freaking out right now, like I have no idea what's going on. But anyway, I'll just like act like nothing really happened and I'm not like panicking because I'm not gonna get possessed any second now. If I get possessed, kill me, by the way. Like don't be like, oh no, like we're gonna lose. No, just kill me. I'd rather be dead than possessed. But anyway, sorry, I like did that thing where like I just breach out anyway. But yeah, so Guardian Angel's cost is really, really good. The stats are totally fair because 4 puts it in Unseen Pressure range. It's just a really, really well designed card, and a lot of the other cards that came out on the side weren't that great. I guess just to brush over, there was like a field card that was like target resonator with flying gains 3/3 if you tap it, and if you summon something with flying, you draw a card for the first time that turn, but it cost like 3, so it was kind of like hefty. And then there was like a wingman that was 2 green that was like whenever this card attacks, you recover a target stone, a magic stone, and of any color. It doesn't have to be a wind one. But it seems like I get where they're going with ramp nowadays. They want to make it so that you kind of recover your stones opposed to like adding more stones to the pool. I guess like so it's like still ramp in a way because it's free. But I don't know. There was like a standby card that was like if you control a wind magic stone and a resonator with flying, you can destroy a resonator without flying. But that's like really horrible. Like it just seems like it's not like I guess it's not horrible, but like I guess like fairies could use it or something. I don't know, but it seems very like situationary, I guess. So maybe that's why I don't like it. But I like how I casually was talking about like demons possessing me, and now I'm talking about like forcible cards again. Sorry, like this is really funny to me. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think. I think that Guardian Angel really has to get a lot of attention because this card's gonna be really relevant next format. The fact that it's 8 on defense is also really nice because 7 is in Burn to Cinders range, so I think the 8 butt is definitely really, really nice. And so yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment if you want to say something. Definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed, or to hear more, you know, like demon noises in the background or me freaking out over stuff like that. And I'll definitely catch you guys next time.